Hello there. So today I want to talk to you about a little bit of a controversial topic, which is the cost of veterinary medicine. So I don't think there's really anyone out there that hasn't noticed that veterinary medicine does cost significantly more than it used to. And I can talk all day about inflation and progressions in medicine and student loan debt and paying a living wage. There's lots of things that are associated with this, but I think there are some aspects of this that aren't talked about enough. So one of those would be there is a significantly higher standard of care in medicine than there used to be. And some of that is because people are starting to see their pets at more like family members than like dogs and cats. And when that happens, they want a higher quality of medicine. When you have a higher grade of medicine, it does come at a higher cost. And the reason for that is it costs more to have extra equipment in the hospital. 15 years ago, no one had digital x-rays. Well, maybe 20 years ago, no one had digital x-rays. Well, now almost every clinic has digital x-rays. Those machines can easily cost $500,000 for a clinic. And you got to pay that off somehow. There's all kinds of new age drugs that are being developed for animals that are more for specific diseases that was not previously available. General practice veterinarians are taught to do some more specific surgeries that weren't available several years ago. So when you expect a higher quality of medicine, you're going to have to pay more money for that. Number two is social media. I'm on social media. Obviously, I'm on social media right now. But that is something that has somewhat increased the cost of veterinary medicine. And the reason for that is there is a lot more CYA than there used to be. So the best example that I can give people is if you take a farmer 50 years ago, his best farm dog needs a surgery that the vet has never done before. And the vet says, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. If it goes really well and the dog does great, the farmer will say, thank you, doc, you're a miracle worker. My wife baked you a pie. If it doesn't go well and the dog dies, the farmer says, hey, doc, I know you did your best. Thank you for that. My wife baked you a pie. Nowadays, if we do a surgery, and even if everything goes well, some clients will go online, lie, and do a giant smear campaign online. People get behind it, they call the clinic, they do threats, it's a whole thing. So unfortunately, there is a lot more CYA involved. That costs money. The thing that I don't think enough people talk about, and this actually stands out to me because I took a veterinary business course whenever I was in vet school. Now, I don't know if this statistic is true. I haven't seen documentation of it. But in that course, I don't remember the exact number, but it was something like 40 to 60% or something of the revenue of a vet clinic at that time was made in the pharmacy for the clinic. Well, what happened 3 or 4 years after I took that class is the online pharmacies became a big deal. These online pharmacies are giant corporations that can buy very large amounts of product at a time, which means they pay less for the product. And they pay less storage cost because they don't have to find a tiny little storage nook in a vet clinic like vet clinics do. So people started taking their money away from the vet clinic for the prescriptions and giving it to other corporations. Well, a business cannot survive if 40 to 60% of their revenue disappears overnight. So they have to make money somewhere else. I remember the very first job I worked, an annual, which was all vaccines, a heartworm test, a fecal, and an exam, was $60. And the reason they were able to do that was because after the heartworm test, people would buy heartworm prevention in the clinic and they would make money off of that. When people started doing online ordering for heartworm and flea prevention, suddenly that revenue is gone. Now most clinics, an annual that includes those things is going to be like $200 to $400. It's very different, and it's because of the way society has started to view pets, animals, how they treat them, how they view medicine, and just in general the cost of medicine. Does it suck? Yes. Can you find veterinarians that are still very cheap? Yes. Do they usually make you sign waivers and sign your life away whenever you're consenting to what would be considered the gold standard quality of care? Also yes, because it has become a game of CYA. I hate it. I don't want to have to think about that stuff whenever I treat pets, but that is the world that we live in. That is the world that social media has made.